Hey, this is Ed the Sock. Did you know that at last count, there were 5 million podcasts with over 75 million episodes between them available in 150 different languages? And of all of that choice, you're listening to the Johnny and Shaner Punk Rock Dadcast, coming to you from a basement in Brooklyn, Ontario, which is a suburb of Oshawa, Ontario, which is a suburb of Toronto, Ontario. Have you started questioning your choices yet?
Hey, man.
Hey,
You're here.
how's it going?
Good, you?
I'm all right.
Oh, there he is. Good stuff.
How you guys?
That actually doesn't sound that bad. I was worried. We're
Oh,
we're
yeah.
we're we're
I know
here,
I'm-
like all hooked up to like my home recording studio system, with multiple sweet ass microphones, and I was worried about how the thing would translate because I had a quick test last week, but this is our first Zoom, our first real Zoom guest. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah. I do the Zoom thing all the time, and some guests sound better than others. But yeah, I sorry, I didn't actually think to set up the mic, but hopefully this sounds all right.
Oh, it sounds fantastic.
Yeah,
we are. Shane's can he see you? Can you see?
yeah. We actually did our first trial run with Will McGurk from Cops Records last week.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was great.
Okay, I'm gonna run through our intro real quick, if you don't mind.
We also need we need to add bass if you're interested.
Oh, no. Okay, I played our intro
Oh, you already
song
well
already before you showed up.
okay.
So that's over. I just mean like the intro to the
Yeah,
show.
right.
Yeah.
And our sponsor.
Today is November 22nd, 2023. This is episode number, I think, 33. Is that correct?
Yeah, it sounds right.
All right. We have the usual suspects. I'm Johnny Zero, and Shaner McCauley joins us, hailing from Oshawa, Ontario. We are welcome to the Punk Rock Dadcast. We are not exclusive to dads, moms, or those who can or cannot procreate or choose not to. We're just two dads who love punk. We're here to talk about punk, local, unlocal, old, new, large, and small. No rules, no holds barred. Being a punk show, listener discretion is fucking advised. Thank you for wasting your time with us. Thank you to Threads of Society for our merch. Email us at punkrockdadcast@gmail.com. We may or may not get back to you.
And let's welcome
Today on our show, we have Mr. Cone McCaslin from SUM 41. Thank you so much for joining us, aka Jason McCaslin, aka Handsome Jace 5000.
Whatever you want to call me, I'm cool with it. No one really calls me Jason except my mother.
I had to look that up.
Oh, I like you're already gonna dive into this because it's way further down on my list. You had your mother on Cone's Cave, and I thought that was a brilliant episode. I mean, you shared stories. I'm sure. I don't know if you've talked to your mother about the stories on the road or not, but you pretty much spilled your guts.
Well, it's funny because I have a magazine. There's a magazine article that Kerrang published in 2001. And I guess in the interview they did with us, we talked a lot about our partying days. We were 21 at the time.
Yeah.
And when they published the article on Kerrang, the caption was, it was us in a pool, and it said, strippers, ecstasy, cocaine, and orgies. Some 41 is in too deep. And I actually brought that up with my mom. I think I brought this up on the show on Congo.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
she has the magazine and she read it, so I think she knows all. She knows everything we did.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was actually talking to Johnny about that episode, and I think I actually talked to you too. I was like, man, I got to get my mom on this podcast because I did some crazy shit back in the day too.
I don't want my mom anywhere near this.
So, starting in your early days, I mean, when did you really pick up your first instrument? When did you really get into music?
Well, I was probably 13. It was 1994. It was going into high school. My friend was a drummer, Matt, who actually went on to drum in Avril's band for a couple of years on our first couple of records. Him
Okay.
and I and my next door neighbor, we started our first band, and it was kind of like a grunge band. And they had their stuff first, like they had guitars and drums, and my other neighbor had a guitar, and they were like, "We're gonna form a band. It's gonna sound like Nirvana." And
Yeah.
I was kind of like, I want to be in the band. And they're like,
Yeah.
"Well, we don't have a bass player." So basically, at the time, it was like, well, you can. I didn't know what the fucking bass was. Like because there's no internet at the time either, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
you have to research. You have to go buy a magazine.
Isn't the bass player just the worst guitar player out of the two guys?
No, I play bass, and I think it's the easiest way out.
Well, you guys are already cutting me down. Well,
Oh,
this is
shit.
No,
Sorry.
no,
Sorry.
Cone.
Don't
You're
leave.
you're an amazing bassist. I love you for that.
oh, thank you.
Actually, I'm glad you brought up Nirvana. I was listening to Nirvana today, and I was thinking about you coming on our show tonight, and I was like, man, Nirvana, man, they just have such incredible staying power. They're not even like on like oldies, like radio stations or anything yet, but they're still fucking relevant as hell. And why is that? What is their staying power?
Well, I think, for me, and even at the time, I was just gonna say, like, when I was starting music, it was because it kind of seemed simple. That's
Accessible.
kind of what drew me to
Yeah.
want to play their songs, because it was kind of much like the Ramones, where
Yeah.
you knew you could play two chords or three chords and know the song. And
Yeah.
as a 14-year-old, that was like mind blowing. It's like, holy shit, I can play a Nirvana song.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was the same in the 70s when people were picking up instruments because of the Ramones. You
Yeah.
learned three power chords, you knew a Ramones song. And
Yeah.
I think that just like as a new musician, that kind of blows your mind. It's funny about Nirvana though. I was at a dinner tonight with my nephew. It was his 17th birthday, and he was
Sweet.
talking to me about music. And one of his all time favorite bands right now is Oasis. And
Really?
he was going into music, and he was like, grunge is really big at our high school right now. I'm like, grunge? I mean, you weren't even born when grunge was around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, well, Smashing Pumpkins is a really big
Yeah.
band in high school right now. It's like, Smashing Pumpkins. It's like, how about Nirvana? He goes, nah, we don't really like Nirvana.
No shit.
I was like, what about Smashing Pumpkins is better than Nirvana?
I just got tickets to
And-
Green Day, and Smashing Pumpkins amazingly is opening up for them next year,
Yeah.
and Rancid. And I'm like, that's kind of a. Oh, I mean,
I
Rancid and Green Day, sure, but that's
I
quite
thought
the
it
mix.
was I thought it was odd that Smashing Pumpkins was kind of splitting Rancid and Green Day up in between,
Yeah.
because I mean they're both from kind of like East Bay, played Gilman Street, and then all of a sudden you have Smashing Pumpkins in between.
Yeah, I think it's interesting with concerts nowadays, because I think the pandemic kind of fucked everything up, and I think people that are going to go see concerts. I thought Smashing Pumpkins was an odd choice too, but then I sat and thought about it. I was like, well, if Smashing Pumpkins play an hour, you're going to probably know every single song.
Bang for your buck.
I think that's
Yeah.
what people that are going to shows now, especially those big shows. I'm not talking like small punk shows, but these big shows where Green Day's playing in a stadium. People want to go, and if they're going to spend $150, $200, $1,000 on a ticket, whatever they're spending, they want to go to a show and they want to know every song, and they want to
Yeah.
be entertained
Colin,
all
I have
night.
something to admit. You have no idea. I don't even want to admit what I spent on tickets for that next year. I bought tickets for the floor. I got the VIP package, tour of the stage, everything, and then 5 minutes later, I won a pair of tickets on the radio station.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can say it. It was Edge 102.
Oh sure, yeah, it was the
Yeah.
end. Yeah, we were flipping when the were playing ads, and I just went over, and like 30 people got the trivia question wrong, and I called in, and I got it. So
That was the day we were walking into
Oh, yeah.
94.9 The
Yes.
Rock to
So
drop off your package.
We dropped you a gift last week. I don't know if you can join us anyway, but we usually, if you were here tonight,
Oh,
we'd offer
oh.
you a Jaeger bomb.
Well, I got some wine, so
Sweet,
we'll-
close enough.
All right.
yeah.
We have a Jaeger machine over there, I next time I'll take you on a personal tour of my basement, but my laptop's pretty dying of power. And it's hooked up to all this other shit. But yeah, I got a pseudo studio in my basement. I have whatever local band.
You guys are not in the same room right now.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are.
Shane's right there. Shane's in his
right across.
Shane's lounge, right across from.
Okay.
Hold on, I'll go in. I'll go in his wake for a sec.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, yeah. No, you should really come check out if we could move stuff around. He's got his whole jam space drum kit.
Yeah, this is where
18 guitars on the wall.
this is where we do it.
16 amps.
I repurposed my jam gear to do a podcast every week. And actually, this is our 33rd week. Next week or the week after, I think, is our 1 year.
Yep,
Nice.
next week is our 1 year.
Here's our Jagerbomb. Cheers, everybody, if you would.
Yep, cheers.
Cheers.
We actually have a bartender. Here, come poke your head in for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Is my buddy Will. He's our in-house bartender for the shows. He lives with me, he works with me. We pretty much do everything together. So yeah.
So let's start with playing shows locally. I mean, your jam space and a lot of shows happened at the Chameleon. You guys must have played the Dungeon a lot too.
Yeah.
Did you? Yeah, you must have played like the Roadie as well.
The Spot.
The Spot.
Rings a bell.
Ajax Joints.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we played all that stuff. Also because I was saying, like, obviously I was in a different band, so we were all in separate bands at the beginning of high school. We were all playing all those places together. When I joined, yeah, Chameleon was definitely a thing. The Polish Hall, the Dungeon.
Yes, Sikorsky Hall in Oshawa.
Yes, Sikorsky.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
up on Stevenson.
that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually Dungeon. I think we played the Dungeon after Half Hour Power came out. I remember we really trashed that dressing room too. And that's stuff I look back on now. I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm gonna run into these people now. They're like, yeah, I remember you trashed our dressing room. And that's kind of what we were like back then, I guess. Like,
of course.
you
were probably 19 or 20 or so.
Yeah, we would have been 19.
Yeah.
We're just barely legal to drink. We'd go down to the U.S. and we wouldn't be able to drink because we were 19.
Right.
We would do these massive tours with Face to Face. We would Mighty Boss Tones, Social Distortion. This was all under the age of 21 because that's when Half Hour Power came out. It was in 2000. We were 19, 20 years old. So it was really strange because obviously we would party at home, party in Canada, and go on tour, dip over the border, and all of a sudden, a lot of places that we were playing, especially with Social Distortion, they'd kick us out of the venue after we played because we weren't of age to drink. So they'd be like, you could play.
Oh, no way.
So Half Hour of Power. My God, All Killer No Filler. Does this look infected? Chuck, Underclass Hero, Screaming Bloody Murder, Order in Decline, and now Heaven and Hell coming up. Tell us about Heaven and Hell.
Oh, I just want to go on the record and say Underclass Hero is probably one of the most underrated albums. I think it is one of your best albums.
You guys really matured as musicians by then. I mean, you guys were always great. Fucking Dave is a fucking powerhouse, man. I love that guy. Just kills it on guitar every time. His cousin Vaughn is my life insurance guy. Yeah, man, like you guys really paved the way for a lot of us young punks out here. And I mean, I moved to Windsor from here when I was I don't know, grade like 11 or whatever. My brother was obsessed with you guys. He really wants to say hi. His name's Tim. Give him a shout out. Thanks. And yeah, he just really looks up to you guys. We all do. And just wants to follow in your guys' footsteps. Everybody loves fucking Sum 41. Local boys can do no wrong, Whose mom is the
Yeah,
Some 41 mom on her.
yeah,
license
I
plate.
see it driving around. I see it driving
Is it
around
just
Durham.
a fan or is it somebody's mom?
Well, so there's 3 license plates going around.
Okay.
Yeah.
This happened kind of early 2000s, and the Sum 41 mum, which is MUM, that's my mom.
Okay.
That's your eh?
That's my mom, and I've been begging her to get rid of it, but she refuses.
Oh,
But
come on. She's a proud mom.
Did she
yeah,
drive a gray Ford?
yes, it's a Ford Escape, I guess.
That's the one.
There's a Sum 41 Rocks, which I think is Derek's, and then there's a Sum 41 something else, and I think it's just a friend of Derek's mom. But yeah, this was something that they thought was pretty funny back in the early 2000s. And there's like she's almost got an accent, but this is another thing about it. Is like I was like, get rid of those fucking license plates, because people will honk and wave, and she's waving, and but I'm like, you got to drive too. And so this whole thing of I've been begging her to get rid of those plates, but she loves it still. And she they used to come to our shows, and I just realized this recently, thinking back to it, because when we were like 21 years old and we had All Killer No Filler and Fat Lip and In Too Deep was breaking, my mom is only 20 years older than I am, so she was 41 at the time. I'm 43 right now. So they were just fucking partying all the time. Like they would come to shows and just get obliterated. Derek's mom's 16 years older.
Right.
So I mean, our parents, when we were like kind of breaking as a band, they were our age now. It was mayhem with our moms.
So that kind of brings me to another topic I had, about Derek writing lyrics. One song that comes into mind is Walking Disaster, about Mom and Dad, I don't miss you. Does that stand for all band members? Like, do you ever disagree with Derek on some of his lyrics, or do you just go with the flow?
I think that was written from a perspective of someone else, because Derek actually he doesn't know his dad.
Okay.
There's actually there's a song on that record on Underclass Hero called Dear Father, which is kind of about that. And well, it is about that. He's never met his father. He's never had any contact with his father. Walking Disaster was more of a perspective of
Right. Track 4. Yes.
Yeah, Dear Father. Yeah, I mean, luckily with our band, when Derek writes the lyrics, and it's with pretty much every band when there's a primary songwriter, is thankfully when he writes, even political songs. We were writing political songs on Does Look Infected. We agreed. So when we were angry at George Bush on Does Look Infected, we were all angry at him. He wrote the lyrics, but we were all pissed off about the Iraq War. The Trump thing on the last record, I fucking hate Trump. He hates Trump. We all hate Trump. So when he's writing a fuck you song to Trump, we all agree. There's not too much where he's written where I'm like, I don't really agree with that, and that's good, because I'm sure there's some bands where the lyricist will write something and the rest of the band's like, I don't know.
You guys are all good friends.
We've
get
grown up.
You sit down, you have some beers, and you agree mostly politically on most world topics, and it's healthy for you guys to have an outlet that you can be able to portray that, and you can do it together, and you can stand behind that, rather than certain different aspects of the band, maybe arguing about some of that stuff.
Yeah, and I think that these conversations happened a lot more in the early days, like especially on Does Look Infected in 2002, when George Bush wrongfully invaded Iraq. We would sit around the bus and talk about that kind of stuff. And so less now. I mean, we do talk about Trump. We do talk about that kind of stuff now. When he wrote some of the anti-Trump stuff on Order and Decline, I wasn't surprised that those songs came out. We had talked about Trump many times. I knew that he was always watching CNN a lot, as was I, and as was Dave and everyone else in the band. So
yeah,
it's kind of natural for us,
The
thing about being in a band is if you believe in something strongly, you got to voice your opinion.
I did see a topic about I forget what song it was called. I don't know if it was called I Believe, or Derek was mentioning that he was just gonna give it away to somebody else because it was too heavy, and I'm guessing heavy in the lyrics emotionally. I'm trying to find my notes here.
Come on, Shane.
Come on. It's your own material. Can you help me out?
Well, give me a hint.
Uh
I mean, we got like 8 albums, so.
no, I know. It was
All right, while he's working on that,
you guys talk.
can you tell me a little bit more about the Heaven and Hell album coming up?
Yeah, I mean, that was recorded during the pandemic. It's our last album, unfortunately. But
Right.
you know,
So you guys are splitting up.
we are. We're
I mean, on paper anyway. Are you gonna pull a Kiss or?
well, we're not going to do the Elton John where we just keep coming around. No, I swear this is the last time.
Yeah.
But no, it was it's funny with our band because we have, we've done the heavier stuff through our career, and we've done like the pop punk stuff. We have like a lot of fans that'll actually tell us like, I don't like the heavy stuff. I just like In Too Deep, Fat Lip, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. What's the most fun for you to play?
I love Does Look Infected. That's probably my favorite.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Still Waiting's probably my favorite song to play live.
Yeah.
Over My Head is a really fun one to play live.
Yeah.
But there's also like people that don't like the pop punk stuff. They'll be like, I just like the metal. I just want the metal stuff. We're just like, so with this album,
that's crazy that you guys went just so punk and so metal, and you introduced so many people to like, your influences are, Iron Maiden. So you introduced a lot of folks to Iron Maiden stuff, and then you guys like punk. So, you guys went in both directions. So few bands can actually introduce like from their influences to multiple genres like that. And like at your guys' shows, it's like the only shows I've ever seen where punks and fucking metalheads don't fight.
No, and you know what? So your new album, you're gonna have is it a double album? You're gonna have metal and then pop.
So one side is heaven and one side's hell.
Right.
And I can't wait to throw that on that fucking turntable right over there, because all I've heard was the radio heaven stuff so far.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard that. Have you released any of the hell stuff yet?
No, but that will probably be next.
Yes.
It's like it's a weird thing because like I was saying, like people just like different things. There's some fans that like both of our sounds, but the thing about our band was we grew up like we had an eclectic taste in music. So like even the hip hop thing, that's where the Fat Lip thing came into, because we're massive fans of Run DMC and Beastie Boys and all that 80s rap stuff we loved, and we love metal and we love punk. So we just try to find a way to incorporate it all, and it works for us.
The Beastie Boys just got a street in New York City there.
You guys did it fantastically without being copycats. So
exactly.
And I mean, I'm fucking half your guys' age, but I definitely appreciate you guys' music, and I really love you. Dudes. I'm having a moment here. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh my God. Shane, have you organized your thoughts over there with your?
It was going back to that song. It's a song called "Never There." I think Derek was saying he was going to give it away.
Okay, I didn't know that, but yeah, "Never There" again was on the last record, Order in Decline. Never There.
Exactly.
Another one about his father he's never met. There's like, to my knowledge, the funny thing is about that, it's actually not funny, but Derek and we haven't really spoken about that topic before. Like we've never gotten to a deep conversation about him not meeting his biological father.
Right. Public
they will come out in songs here and there where I'm like, oh wow, he's talking about it. He's talking about it to everyone now. But, I've known Derek since I was 14 years old.
Yeah.
And we've gotten some, we've had nights, and we've had drunken nights. We've had drug-induced nights, but we've never gotten to the point where we've it's ever come up.
Yeah.
It's a strange thing, and and whatever, whenever he feels like talking about it, he'll talk about it. I know it. It must be a thing that is not. How do I say this? Like, it's not something that you can take.
It's not easy.
That he's never met his biological father. It sucks.
Yeah.
I know, and that's another big thing. I think I was talking to you a few weeks ago about was like you kind of need to reach out to your friends mental health and stuff. I'd really like to do a special episode on the Johnny and Shaner Punk Rock Dadcast for mental health. You did send me a song to play. I think you even said you might even have a few words to mention.
Mental health.
I think mental health is a huge thing.
Yeah, I was actually my guest this week is on my radio show, Cone McCaslin. It's Nate from Blogging Molly, and actually we were just talking about this because I've spoken about mental health, especially in bands, in the band world, with a lot of people. And the trouble I find with talking about it too much is you get people on the other side saying, "Oh, are you complaining? Are you complaining about what you do?" And so it's a tricky subject to get on as a band, because I never want to come off like I'm complaining about what I do. But the fact of the matter is, there is a lot of people. You see it with Chester from Linkin Park.
For sure.
You see it with Chris Cornell from Soundgarden. All these people that have Kurt Cobain, we were talking about Nirvana. These people have taken their lives because of poor mental health, and this it's a big thing in bands. You'll find people on the road, and I've toured with a lot of bands in my life. We can tell that people are struggling. And
you know what? You had a guest on a couple months ago on Cone's Cave. And you guys were talking about mental health on the road and what it does to musicians, and people always think, oh yeah, you're a rock star, you're living the dream, but it's not always that easy. And you, and I forget what guest it was, but you guys explained it perfectly. Like, you're away from friends and family, you may be missing Christmas or birthdays or anything like that. Like, it's a tough living.
Yeah, and again, like, it's tough, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. And I never want. I'm so grateful to be doing this, even at my age now. But yeah, I think you're right. It's things that people don't really think about. Is what you just mentioned. Like, I have 2 kids now, so a lot of times I'm missing their birthdays. I'm missing Easter.
So you're a dad. So this is the Punk Rock Dadcast.
Yes.
How old are your kids?
I wanted to
Boys,
bring up
girls?
your kids.
I was just I put them to bed before this show.
Yeah.
So did we.
Yeah.
I was just complaining to my wife before this. I was like, God damn it. Sometimes I hate being a dad. Because, well, you know how it goes. It's like, it was a hard
get up out of bed and,
Yeah, it was a hard night tonight. They were fucking hyper and they wouldn't listen. They wouldn't do this and that. The whole kid thing. They're
how old are your kids?
5 and 9.
5 and 9.
So it's like romper room. They're wrestling and they're yeah.
So I saw you at an Oshawa Generals game, but you and your kid were going one way and my kid was going the other way, and I didn't have the chance to hook up with you.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. It's obviously I love my kids. Sometimes I just don't want to hang out with them.
Sometimes you just need the alone time.
Exactly.
My bartender over here, Will, slapping his knee. Like, I know exactly what you're talking about. So my kids are 6 and 4. I have 2 girls, and Shane's got a 4-year-old boy, and Will's got a 4-year-old girl. So we've all got 4-year-olds, but I just have an extra one on top of that. And yeah, man, I get it. And I mean, I'm not a fucking touring musician or anything, but like, I still get together with my guys once a week to do recordings and stuff like that. Band is my outlet. Like, I run a a contracting business, and I do basements and a lot of other home renos. And this is my own business. It's been I've been doing this for what 3-4 years now, and on top of that, having kids, and then doing band and stuff, and podcast. Like
Yeah.
it's a crazy life.
Yeah.
But again, like I wouldn't trade that for the world either, man. Like, I don't necessarily get the privilege of going to Milan and fucking playing for a bunch of angels or anything like that. But
So Cone, what is it like when you go on tour and you're gone for, I don't know, 6 or 8 weeks? Like, does your wife pretty much just pick up
you got a lot of
the
family
slack?
support.
Yeah, I lived downtown for 22 years, so that was tougher. But I just moved to the suburbs recently, and she's
You
a
back
saint.
in the Jacks?
No,
No.
no. I was just actually I went to just in a side note. I'll get back to what I was talking about. But I just went to the Edge the other day.
Yeah.
And it was fucking like, oh god, I'm back here, and it was a fun
Oh,
time.
the Edge and Ajax.
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, I thought you meant like the studio in Echo Beach or whatever.
No.
No.
Yeah.
No, I wound up at the Edge in Ajax, and
Dance party.
yeah, I was out with a friend, and they wanted to go there. But anyway,
Awesome.
what was I talking about? Oh yeah, family sport. Yeah, I mean, I've been with my wife for 23 years, and
Wow.
she's a saint. Like, it is hard on her because our kids, like a lot of kids, they're super fucking hyper, and they have a lot of energy, and they never settle down, and they
What do you have?
don't-
Boys, girls? How are they?
older 9-year-old boy, 5-year-old girl.
Okay.
And so yeah, she just holds down the fort the whole time I'm gone.
Yeah.
But it's funny because when I get home from a long tour, it's like, here you go.
What's your wife do? Does she have a career?
She's a personal trainer.
Personal trainer?
Yeah.
Awesome. My wife's a nurse,
There you go.
so I trust her implicitly with every fucking decision that any kids have to make.
It is nice
So-
to have a nurse or doctor in the family.
Oh God, yeah.
When you have kids,
Yeah.
How many times that your kids get sick and you're like, should we take them to the walk-in? Now you have a nurse. So you could just
Oh
look
yeah, yeah. No, it's unbelievable, man. And fortunately, she used to be a what's it called? Not like postpartum nurse. So like
Oh, yeah.
aftercare for birth, and now she's actually a labor and delivery nurse. So I mean, from that age to that, like she's got that whole thing covered. When we gave birth, there's a little thing on behind me here. When she gave birth, because I really didn't have much to do with it. Like all her friends are around, and it's an experience, and like she's been through it 100 times with a fucking 100 other people before, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the bar. I'll be right back. But no, it's great to have her in my family. She's awesome.
Yeah, no, I kind of wish we had like a doctor or a nurse in our family, because there's so many times, just even little things with your
Actually,
kids,
she
like,
works at the Ajax Hospital
oh, she does. Okay.
Yeah. now.
I've been there.
one of my other cousins is a doctor there.
Oh wow.
In Emerge. She was in the Emerge department there. Recently she was there for about 1.5 years, and now she's doing the labor and delivery side. But my cousin is still one of the Emerge doctors there, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Awesome guy. I saw him. He was at the DFA show last weekend. What was it? 2 weekends ago? Last weekend? 2 weekends ago? When was that? That's from Above 1979.
How was that?
Fucking awesome, man. I've seen them actually once at that venue before. They played at the Biltmore, which used to be, the Big Sexy or the Music Hall. Great venue, great people. And DFA fucking killed it, man. Have you guys played with them before?
I don't really think we have. I've seen Mastercraft play before. Jesse's doing Mastercraft. I saw them in LA. I saw them open for Billy Talent at Durham College.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no kidding. Really?
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
no one knew who they were.
Yeah.
Billy Talent was kind of new. I think they maybe had Try Honesty out at the time.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Billy Talent used to be called Pez, and I remember I was dating an ex-girlfriend who was really close to George Strombo, and I had the Try Honesty demo tape, cassette tape before it came out.
Oh,
Which
I was in one of their music videos actually. Nothing to lose.
Yes, you were in a music video.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good band. I'm
They
close
had like
with
a
those guys.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Ian is one of my best friends. I see him often. The other guys, we're close. We took Billy Talent on their first cross Canada tour ever.
Yeah.
You
were
guys
pretty
did,
much from the same era of local Ontario punks. That's awesome.
Yeah, they were.
I think you guys were a little bit before them, though, weren't they?
We were just before. Yeah. Well, we took them on tour. We were on Does It Look Infected.
Mhm.
They hadn't even had an album yet. I think their first album came out in 2003,
Yeah.
and it was funny because like they would go up there first band on, and they were playing all those songs. They were playing Try Honesty. They were playing Nothing to Lose. They were playing all those River Below. No one knew. No, it's funny to think back now because no one knew the songs. Like
Right.
the crowd,
So
crowd
I
was
think
just
their
standing
first
there
album came out
watching
in what, 2003 or something? They came out.
Yeah.
Their
I
first
remember
album.
after the tour we took them on. Yeah, it was 2003.
Yeah.
I remember we took them on the tour. Got home from the tour, and I remember like just a few weeks later, I turned on Much Music for a second, and there's Try Honesty. I'm like, there's that fucking band.
Yeah.
There's that band we just took on tour.
Yeah.
and then just
Yeah.
exploded.
Oh yeah.
And that was shot at Whitby Psych.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We did that Nothing to Lose video. And then like a couple years, so I think that was what, 2003, 2004, something like that. A couple years later, I met them again on Warped Tour. My band, I think you know these guys, Princess Riot. We were on Warped Tour. We were on the like Shearer Girls stage. It was a bunch of girls, and I was their drummer. And yeah, I went from being a drummer to a front man at some point in my life, and just I make the rounds, man. But yeah,
That wasn't with Dave. Dave went on with Val.
that's right. So
Yeah.
Dave is in Black Hat Attack.
Yeah.
Val was one of the girls that was in Princess
Riot.
Riot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I'm intertwined. But I fucked off to Vancouver for a bunch of years
And you drove Rancid around town.
wasted a lot of my life.
Yeah.
And then I came back and went to college.
That's good. Yeah, Vancouver's cool.
Oh yeah, man. Me and this guy over here, we went it's been 10 years since I went. And we went like what, 3 weeks ago? About a month ago, because the fucking flights were $185. I was like, we got to see some old friends, man. Let's go.
Yeah.
My wife, she was like, yeah, I can handle the kids for 5 days. Go. I was like, yes, let's go, buddy.
Cool.
So, yeah, we just went. And where did you go in Vancouver? Like, what's your hot spots in Vancouver?
It's been a little bit. I don't really have any, to be honest. Like, the Gob guys are from there, so
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Tom will kind of take me around when we're there because Tom plays in our band now, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But next time I go, I'm kind of newly friends with Billy Hopeless from the Black Halos. Do you know that band?
Yep.
So he's telling me next time I'm in town, he's taking me out. So
Yeah.
I guess Vancouver is always one of those things where I didn't really have like a spot. Like in Toronto, I would go to the Horseshoe, the Bovine, Cameron House, all these places, like even everything on Queen Street. In Vancouver, I never really had a spot. Like even in New York, I had my favorite spots. I had Niagara and Lit. Vancouver never had that for me.
Were you living in New York for a while?
No, but our record label was in New York. So we were there all the time. We were going there. We were going there every month.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time there.
So after Sum 41, because you guys are disbanding, what the fuck are you gonna do with yourself?
Yeah. And I was actually gonna ask you guys, like, is it just because you guys have done the tours, you've done everything, you've accomplished everything, and now you're settling down with families, and it's just time to hang up the axes and move on.
I wouldn't say that we've done everything. We haven't accomplished everything, but I think at this point, I don't know. I think we're all. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's just time. And, one of those things of like we all get along really well. There was no like big fight that happened where it's like, oh fuck you, fuck you.
No.
Um,
Yeah, no, of course. No,
I
it
think
seemed like a happy ending.
it is, and I
Yeah.
think that's the best way for us because we did meet in ninth grade in high school. We were a high school band, and it's better to go out when we're all still happy, I think. And if someone in the band isn't really into doing it anymore, or a couple people aren't into doing it anymore, then we just can't do it. I don't want to come to a point. I don't think anyone wants to come to a point in this band where we're just doing it for a paycheck now. We're just doing it because we think we have to.
Right.
And
Right.
somewhere down the line,
What does Henry Rollins say? He's like, I don't want to be anybody's jukebox, just going up on stage because people are there to pay for you.
Yeah,
it's hard. I get.
Then you'd be going through the motions, and I think the crowd would see that. And honestly, the biggest thing for me is I don't want to get to a point where we do start fighting because we're not enjoying it anymore.
Right.
We've known each other for so long, and
it's the Irish goodbye.
Yeah.
Fucking leave when nobody's looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing. We know as a band we haven't accomplished everything that we still could maybe, but I think
what could you do? What do you want to accomplish still as a band?
I don't know. There's places that we haven't played. Like we haven't played in India. We haven't played South America a lot. There's a lot of cities in South America.
You guys
love you over there.
Oh,
eh?
you know what? You guys want to do the NoFX backstage passport?
Do I want to what?
the NoFX backstage passport
What's that, Shane?
where they go to all these crazy countries where there's you guys already went to Congo.
Yeah.
That was a nightmare. Can I actually ask your opinion on what was going through your mind?
Going to the Congo?
Yeah.
Well, we weren't going there for a show. We were
No, I know. But just your experience, like, I mean, yeah. I've read interviews and stuff, but like, what was going through your mind that day when you had to get the hell out of there?
Well, I will say that I think we all thought we were going to die, 100%. People, at that point when the war had started back up in the Congo, we were stuffed into two hotel rooms. There was 40 people in the whole hotel, and there was like 20 people there, 20 people there. One of the rooms was actually my room.
Wow.
And
yeah.
There's bombs going off around the hotel. There was reports of women getting raped everywhere. There was rebels coming into hotels and houses shooting people point blank. So in our hotel, we had this guy named Chuck, who we named our album after.
Yeah, yeah.
And he had a bat, and that's all. And so we thought, if the rebels were to storm the hotel, there was
Chuck.
Chuck Belcher, yeah. He's from Victoria, BC.
Wow.
Cool.
And so there was one woman, and I was worried about her. There was one woman from War Child Canada. We were with Sam. And I thought, we were all thinking, like, if these rebels come in here, I think we're all going to die because we're all going to have to stick up for Sam. And so that was kind of running through our mind a lot about Sam and just rebels kind of storming. I think there was a point where we all had said, this is probably it. And it was a weird feeling. And
so at that point, did you have any contact with anyone back home?
Not at that point.
No way.
No, we hadn't. But once we got to the UN compound, once we got evacuated, there was a phone. Someone had a phone, and I think everyone was calling parents and girlfriends. And that's when and I kind of wish they didn't, because that's when everyone started really worrying. Had they not known, I think it would have maybe been better.
Yeah.
Because at that point, we were back at the UN compound and we were somewhat safe.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, that's when everyone started worrying back home. So I was like,
Was that the scariest thing that's ever happened in your touring career or in your life?
oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, you're in the middle of a war.
Yeah, yeah.
There's not too much that's going to top that in my life. I hope. It was, it's a strange feeling. I don't even know how to, I can't even explain the feeling of that moment of we're going to die and there's bombs going off, there's guns and there's helicopters everywhere.
Yeah.
It's
It
like
sounds
fucking
like
out of
Chuck
Rambo.
came from a lot of that experience, correct?
Chuck,
The album?
no, no, not really, because Chuck had already been written and recorded.
Oh wow.
The only song that came after was "We're All to Blame."
Wow.
Oh,
Unbelievable. And that was a fucking mega hit.
yeah.
Yeah, actually, Derek had brought his acoustic guitar and he was fooling around in the Congo with the chorus of it.
Yeah.
And he was like, I think I have this chorus for this song. And then I remember we were like, when we got home, we're like, we have to record that song that you were working on.
Yeah.
So that
Wow.
was the song, yeah.
Oh, I really wanted to ask you a question because you mentioned it on your show a few weeks ago. Kerry King has a new project, but you didn't go into any details.
Yeah, I don't really have any details. I read that online. He's actually playing some festivals coming up. I think it's just under Kerry King.
Really? It's not
Kerry
like the
King is
Slayer umbrella.
Kerry King is the wife of the guy that used to run Alcatraz.
Are you talking about Kerry King from Slayer?
Kerry King in Oshawa.
I'm
Isn't
talking
that-
about I was talking about Kerry King from Slayer.
Hey, you're talking about
I thought you were talking about local punk rock shit.
goodness.
Kerry King
Yeah.
from Oshawa, that's tourist that promotes music in the city.
I'm gonna
All right.
apologize on behalf
Let's
of the podcast.
let's move on from that one. Let's move on from that one. Jesus Christ is right.
Have you been drinking tonight?
No. Cone.
The answer is yes.
We've been talking with Will McGurk from
Yep.
Cops Record. We're interested in the idea of having like a pop-up Oshawa punk rock museum. Maybe in the summer. I don't know if there's anything like Olive Durham.
I saw I'm sorry to interrupt. I saw Dave do a couple of tours with the Punk Rock Museum.
Yes.
And I thought that was fucking fantastic.
In
so
Vegas.
So he's there, he's being a tour guide for all of this shit. Have you been there personally? What do you think?
Yeah, we were just in Vegas for that When We Were Young festival.
Yes.
I actually, it's funny because Dave was doing a couple tours while we were in town, and I went, and because we had gone the night before, we played a song with Fat Mike from No Effects in the
Yeah, I saw that with linoleum, and he forgot the words. Oh, it was incredible.
Yeah, I mean that's Mike, but that was funny, and so I walked to the museum that night, but it was like midnight, and there was a lot of people in there at the time. So I took another tour the next day when Dave was doing his tour. It was fucking great because I kind of went in and out of Dave's tour, and Dave's, he's so funny and he's so nice to everybody. And
yeah, he's a great
the
guy.
museum's amazing. Like if you can ever get down there to go, it's definitely worth it. I actually just interviewed today. I interviewed Joe Keithley from DOA.
Yeah,
he's got a big write up that he's handwritten in the museum. There's a whole Canadian section to the museum.
That's amazing.
And, it's funny. I was when I was going through and I was reading Joe Keithley's thing and the Canadian part, Red Flag was playing. So I was.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I videoed it and I showed Ian. I was like, your song's played in the Punk Rock Museum. No, the museum is really cool. And my favorite part I think about it is I'm a huge Clash fan, a huge Joe Strummer fan. And There's a whole thing with Joe Strummer and the Clash and all his handwritten lyrics and his guitar. And it's really cool. And
is this place like just another Hard Rock Cafe, or I want this to be so much more than that. I want this to be the fucking punk rock mecca of North America. But it's how what's the staying power again with like what I was saying earlier with Nirvana. What's your prediction for that kind of place? Are they going to be able to pay the rent for the amount of years that are coming?
it seemed busy when I was there. I think they have a lot of smart people behind it. If they can keep different artifacts coming in all the time,
Yeah.
because
Well, she's Nubs is working there, isn't she?
she used to. I don't think she is anymore.
Okay.
Mel K from Fat Records.
I know Mel. I used to work with her all the time.
She's Canadian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the Toronto Fat Rec office because I used to work with her for OntarioPunk.com.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the key, because there's some stuff. There was people that are like, oh, did you see my this and that? And I was like, no, I didn't see that. And there's stuff that they have. They have a huge storage room in the back. I think they switch stuff out. So I think that's going to be key, because that'll keep people coming back to see the new thing.
I'm a big hard rock guy. I love going to the like we go to like different destinations across the world, and I love coming back with my hard rock t-shirt. But going to see all that shit and like just I don't care if it's fucking authentic or not. Honestly, I just go and I'm watching the music videos and I'm eating the food and I'm listening to the stuff, and I just love the atmosphere of those hard rock cafes. And I want that museum to be, I want it to have staying power. I really want it to have staying power. But you hear a lot of this, fuck, you've heard it's for 30 years, punk rock is dead. But you keep seeing resurgences of this all the time, and it's fantastic to see these resurgences. You keep on seeing these guys out on the street wearing the fucking gear, singing the songs, singing the anthems, and bringing it back every single time from the fucking dead. And I love that. And I really hope that Vegas destination ends up being one of those sort of central spots that sort of makes it that.
So I went to Vegas with my dad and a bunch of family, my brother and everything like that. I didn't care about gambling. I went off the strip. I went to the Double Down Saloon and the Dive Bar. I think it was DI, a couple other punk bands, like $2 to get in. I have pictures, like time of my life. I didn't need to spend time on the strip.
Spectacular.
This was before the Punk Rock Museum. If I was there when the Punk Rock Museum was around, I would have went to that. I don't want to spend my time on the strip gambling. I'm not a gambler.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
I am all about the underground scene and exploring.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I went to the Double Down too on the last night. It's just Vegas. I mean, it can eat you alive if you let it.
Yeah.
But there's some cool places. But going back to the Punk Rock Museum and staying power, I think it will. It's definitely not a hard rock cafe by any means. It's more like a museum. Like you walk through, and there's glass walls on every side, and there's just such cool things. And there's like the room where you can go play musicians' guitars.
I like that it's more tangible, more tacit, and you can
Yeah,
shit up
I want to see the Pennywise jam space.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
and you just never know. Well, that's the thing about its attraction right now, is that you never know who you're going to run into there because it's so new. But 2, 3, 5 years down the road, is it going to be like that? Are they going to have the people that are coming and going that are that's my concern.
I think they will, because for one, some of these bands, these guys, they make money. Like they're they do their tours, but the tour guide makes money. And there's a lot of these underground bands that don't make a lot of money. So it's and going back to the punk rock thing, I think punk rock is become so mainstream now. It's not underground anymore. So I think I saw people there that I thought looked like dressed in Gap clothes or just look like businessmen or something. I'm like,
no kidding.
I like punk. It's like it's a whole
hey buddy,
corporate
thing. With,
I'm wearing a hoodie and my own fucking cap. But yeah, I mean, I love punk music.
It's I'm not saying it's like what you wear, but it's like punk is so, it's since the early 90s, it's become mainstream, and you know,
Sure.
you get people that wouldn't normally think that are punk rockers, and so I think the Punk Rock Museum will be around for a long time, because you know,
Yeah.
the lawyer wants to go, and the businessman wants to go, and the accountant wants to go, and
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they all like punk rock.
No, I think you had a great point earlier, Shane, where we could definitely do a pop-up type of thing with Will McGurk and Cops Records.
Yeah. Like
maybe Joshua, Whippy Ajax, something like that, that just sort of incorporates some of the locals from the punk scene. Some of the
I
big locals.
have so many local bands on my list that still have old merch. Maybe they want to come out and sell some old merch. I'm sure they're dying to get rid of it.
Stuff that belongs in a museum.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Shane's going through his notebook now.
No, I know. You guys were just ending a topic here on the museum.
So, Cone, going back to talking about you guys' breakup. I mean, what are you gonna do now?
Well,
I'm looking for a bass player, by the way.
well, I'll be completely honest, is that I haven't totally thought too much about it, because I'll tell you why.
You got this amazing new career in a radio.
There you go. And
Yeah.
they pay me so much money too.
Yeah. You and me both.
Oh, you do it for free too?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I'm not making any fucking money doing this.
No, you know, because we're starting our tour at the end of February, and it's going to go about 14 months. So to me, I'm looking into 2025. I'm like, you know, somewhere along the way, I might take some time off, and it's a 14-month tour is fucking long.
That's long, man. That's like a fucking car loan.
Yeah, I'll be burnt out. I'll be emotionally drained. I'll be sad. I'll be all these things. So you know what? I don't really know what I'm gonna do after. It'll come.
Yeah.
Let's do Cone's Cave together.
Like you want to co-host with me?
Yeah.
Cone and Shane's Cave?
Yeah.
It'll pretty much be like this.
Shaner's Cave.
You could just post this episode.
I got lots of information.
He's
we
drinking
can
heavily right
we can
now.
talk about the good old days. I was actually we skipped over this topic. Back when you guys were playing local shows.
Shane's a great co-host, by the way.
I am. Back when you guys were playing local shows, who were some of your friends or favorite bands that you like to play with?
And we saw a lot of bands. Chameleon Cafe was like the spot. I remember, you know, one of my favorites back then was Toe.
Yes. Take off, eh?
Take off, eh? But you know, we played,
became Cauterize. Yes.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. Before I was in Sum 41, my other band, my grunge band, we played at the Opera House with Toe at a battle of the bands. Then when I joined Sum 41, I think we played with them again, and I saw them at the Chameleon Cafe a few times. I thought out of all the local bands, I thought they were probably the best. And I thought they had the best songs. I thought the singer was the best singer. But I don't know whatever happened. But you know, we also saw, Self Serve played at my high school.
Yeah.
Five Knuckle Chuckle we saw at the
right on.
They just recently played here at the Atria.
Oh,
yeah, Five Knuckle Chuckle. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Trying to think of who else. It was like what's it? The Raw Energy. A lot of Raw Energy bands.
Song with Nancy.
I never saw them.
They changed their name to The Reason.
Okay. Oh, really?
You know The Reason.
Oh yeah, I've heard The Reason.
Yeah.
That's what they were called before.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, there was like a lot of bands. Obviously, Closet Monster was one that we always played.
Of course.
Underground Records.
Underground Opera. Oh yeah.
Or is it Underground Operator? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Underground. Yeah, and we used to take those kind of, we took Bombs Over Providence on tour.
Yes.
We took
Right.
like back in the around the Chuck days, Mark was getting us to take a lot of Protest the Hero. We took
Mark Spicola.
Mark Spickle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Protest the Hero, who went to Anderson High School.
Yep.
We took them across Canada once, and yeah, there was bands around, and
Unbelievable
Plaza
talent in
Monster,
that
though,
band
probably,
too.
what's that?
Great guys in that band. Unbelievable talent.
Protest.
Yeah.
Did I already tell this story, or did I just tell it to Johnny off air?
I can't see you.
You can't see him?
No, I think my computer shut off, but you can still hear me, right?
I can still hear you.
It's all right. It's all good. So I was best friends with Not by Choice.
Oh, yeah.
Chico especially. He wanted me to be his guitar tech when he was going on tour with you guys across Canada.
Huh.
And I was all ready to
Told you to keep that thing plugged in.
quit my job. And like a month before you guys left for tour, they got signed to Maple Music, and Maple Music said we're basically choosing all your techs. So I was out, but I was about to go on tour with you guys and Not by Choice across Canada.
Oh, yeah, that was a good
Hey,
tour.
Cone, you want to see a magic trick? That's going to come back full in a second.
Like that one.
Why are you interrupting my serious conversation?
You're getting heavy, man. And I wanted a Jager bomb.
Yeah, I know. I was super excited to go on the road with you guys and Not by Choice. Thought it'd be super fun.
Yeah,
I think I saw the DVD.
Yeah, that was a fun tour. That's another band we used to play with all the time. Dave and Mike Bilcox, they were pretty tight, and
Yes.
and I don't know if they still are actually, but yeah, we used to take them on tour all the time, and they got signed to the same record label as we did, Aquarius, in Canada.
Yeah. Mike's living in Ottawa right now.
Have you guys been signed to the same record label the whole time? Or did you
No,
do a couple jumps?
no, we were signed early. All of our kind of first 5 records were on Island Def Jam.
Yep.
And then we were on Hopeless Records for 2, and then this new one's going to be on this record label called Rise Records.
I can't wait for Heaven and Hell. I'm very excited.
Yeah,
do you have a release date, or
it's going to be early next year? But
Cool.
The thing is, it feels old to me now.
Really? Oh, well, you guys have been working on it for a while.
Yeah.
It's coming out on a record, right? Like on a vinyl?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Beauty. Because
It's double vinyl.
Oh yeah. Is it a double vinyl?
Well, it'd have to be 2. Yeah, there's 20 songs.
Oh damn. Cool, man. I thought it was just A and B, man.
A, B, C, D now.
Oh, I can't wait. Look. You're gonna be I can't fucking do it. You're gonna be played on this. Really, really soon. As soon as it's available, I'm having a party. You're invited. Cool, man. Shane, you got any more questions for our guest? He's struggling with his microphone.
No, I was turning the laptop back on. Yeah, no, I have a few more. Jesus. So Cone, you know a bit about Hollywood?
Like the place?
No, never been.
LA?
Yeah, I've been there a few times. Going there.
Yeah.
You're going on Sunday?
Yeah.
Are you
Are
going
ya?
to have American Thanksgiving?
Oh, hell no.
No?
No, that's tomorrow.
Well, yeah, I'm headed down to Pittsburgh myself. Gonna have some fun and some turkey.
What about Hollywood? Let me know.
No. So a few years ago, I just want to say the transportation sucks
Oh yeah,
because I went down a few years ago and I was driving down. First of all, have you ever been to the Rainbow?
of course.
That has been my dream, and ex-girlfriends, blah 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 blah, they never dropped me off. I missed out. But a few years ago I was down there with my dad and my brother, and we were driving down Sunset, and I saw a Yellow Card was playing the Hard Rock. And I was like, cool, but we're staying in Pasadena. So I'm trying to look up how to fucking get on a train to get to Sunset Boulevard, and it's like 18 different trains. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I didn't go.
Well, it's kind of been the thing with LA. They don't have subways. They don't have really trains. That you're driving everywhere.
Yeah, no kidding.
And that's kind of when Derek and Steve moved to LA in 2005 or whenever. It's like I'm not going. I don't like LA enough to want to live there. I like going there. I don't mind visiting. But I like the city. Like I lived downtown Toronto for 23 years. I just like to walk out of my door and be able to walk everywhere and take a
Yeah.
subway or take a whatever.
Very
Well,
accessible.
Yeah, it's and Toronto has its faults too. Like there should have been more subway systems, but anyway, that's a different conversation. But yeah, LA, it's cool. It's cool to visit. But
Didn't
yeah,
Steve become like a realtor or something?
yeah, he was a real estate agent for a while. He's in Australia now. He is not. He doesn't have a job.
No? Do you guys still
No.
talk?
All the time. Yeah,
That's awesome.
he's actually coming back for Christmas, and he's gonna stay over a couple nights. So yeah, I love Steve.
He was actually there when I was in that Nothing to Lose Billy Talent music video for some reason. And
He was there.
yeah, he was a super guy. The only time I've ever met him. Awesome guy.
One of the funniest, quickest people I've ever met. That guy can change the whole tone of a room just walking in there. Like
You got to be smart to be a fucking drummer, man. You got to be able to move all four limbs independently.
Yeah.
And there's something in your brain. You gotta know how to do that, But I mean, yeah, I had very few interactions with him personally, but seemed like a very, very wicked dude.
Oh yeah, he's a cool guy. I like him.
I'm about here in the whole community. Like I'm just like way down, but just underneath this. I only know like a handful of people, so I can't really name drop. But like, I met him once. Awesome guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just took a lot of knowledge with me when we met back in 2003. I'm so young and naive that I actually thought, because of my undeveloped brain at that time, that Steve-O from Sum 41 was the same guy as Steve-O from Jackass. And like it took me a few years to peddle that. And now they're very different guys. Yeah.
I don't think you're the only
I'm embarrassed.
I don't think you're the only one.
Yeah. I was young at that time. I've done a lot of research since then. But no, man, he's an awesome guy. And so are you. Shane went for a piss. Sorry about the break.
What do you want to talk about?
Pardon?
What do you want to talk about?
You know what? I really enjoyed your show on Sunday with what's his name? Now it's escaping me. I got drunk in the garage and was building IKEA furniture.
This past Sunday.
Yeah.
Who did I have on?
Last.
Shane from Silverstein.
That's right. Shane was very excited to see the show, hear the show with Shane from Silverstein on Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was late for something.
you wanted to talk about Shane from Silverstein.
Yes, and I was actually surprised because you guys were talking about Bayside, right?
Yeah,
The drummer.
yeah.
So I was surprised that Shane Told never played shit, I didn't write it down. I did somewhere. In Memory Of. Have you heard that song?
I know it.
In Memory Of by Silverstein.
Is
It's
that
from
about that? That's about the drummer.
Yeah, it's from 2005 off of Rescue.
Okay.
It's a beautiful song, and he's talking about driving up the 400 for the last time, seeing his friend for the last time. Just talking about you know, his dad. It's such a sad song. I don't know.
Man, you're getting heavy again.
I am getting heavy again.
It's a sad story. I mean, this was going back to like, you know, what bands do on the road, like Cliff Burton from Metallica. Like,
Yeah.
and I've thought so many times touring in my life where there's a big storm or there's a snowstorm and we're going through the Rockies.
Am I
I
ever
was like,
going to see
well,
my
this
people
could be
again?
it. This could be it. You know, it's
Yeah.
like it's sad to hear about that Bayside drummer in 2005. I mean, I don't even think I really even heard about that when it happened. But yeah, I couldn't imagine going out like how Shane was describing, like walking out of his bus and seeing the van wreck. And,
Oh, I
and
know. And he even said he wished he didn't get out of the bus,
yeah,
which was even more like heartbreaking to me.
Ugh,
yeah, yeah, totally.
that's daunting, man. Oh, listening to somebody recount living through that kind of pain is liberating for them. I'm really grateful that we have this kind of platform to talk about that kind of stuff. But you know, it's shattering for listeners to have to sort of try to relate to that. I'm sure all of us, most of us, have that kind of at least one, terrible situation in our life in our 30s and 40s that we're holding on to. But I'm really grateful that we can actually. It's been, I only met Shane last year, Cone. I've been around this neighborhood for I don't know, fucking ever, and we only got together last year and started just shooting the shit and talking about it. And this is really great that we can have that therapy hour or a couple of hours that we do this and we talk about that, and it gets heavy sometimes, but
Sometimes when you talk about stuff like that, you feel better after. As hard as it is probably for Shane to talk about that moment with Bayside and walking out of his bus, at some point you're probably gonna have to talk about it, and he probably felt better talking about it. He said he didn't want to, he wasn't looking forward to talking about it, but probably I would imagine, because I've gone through stuff where even after Derek almost died from alcoholism and he had his organs shut down, I didn't want to talk about it with anyone. Everyone was asking me about it. I was like, I don't want to fucking talk about one of my best friends almost dying. But after a while, I started talking about it. It actually made me feel better.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I have to talk about this.
We've had a couple of episodes where, alcoholism is pretty close to. We're pretty working class dudes, so it's pretty prevalent in a lot of our lives, not only our own, but our parents and some very close friends. My dad underwent a liver transplant last year.
Wow.
Earlier this year. Yeah, I mean.
And you know what, Cone? I wanted to actually bring up
and here I am drinking a beer.
Family history with me. My cousin, you probably heard of him, Todd Herzog. He won Survivor China.
I don't really watch those shows, but
No, me neither. I didn't watch any of them. But he was on Dr. Phil 3 times for alcohol abuse. He was in bad shape. He had seizures on Dr. Phil and just hanging out in Hollywood partying. He was in rough shape. My aunt was on the show. Like my other cousins were on the show, just trying to support him. So it's a rough.
Shane had an episode like that last year, didn't you, buddy?
Yeah, almost 2 years ago. Seizure.
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
wow.
This was funny. Well, it wasn't funny. It was funny later. But Shane had a seizure right off his front porch, fell on a big pile of wood, and then this is all during COVID and everything like that, and a whole bunch of anti-vaxxers were like, "See, this is what you get when you don't get the vaccine, or when you get the vaccine."
Yeah.
And like, Shane didn't get the vaccine, so he had to come up with a public statement later. It said, "I actually didn't get it. I'm not anti-vax. I'm not pro-vax. I just didn't fucking get around to it."
Yeah. And now I'm gonna be on A&E.
Yeah, he's got this video went stupid viral all of a sudden because some guy with green hair just fucking takes a nosedive off his front porch, and within like minutes, EMS and everything comes and collects him, scoops him up off the porch, and revives him back to life. But like within this like 5-minute video, it was just crazy, and it was just like ridiculous to see the dichotomy of like people for and people against, and like honestly, he's got no political stance one way or another. I'm sure you do, but it didn't really bear relevance on the fact that people were making assumptions based on your bodily choices. It was just a interesting dynamic.
Yeah,
go
whatever.
across your life.
It was like stage diving.
Yeah. Sure, you've never experienced that before, have you, Cone?
Let's get back to Cone here.
Stage diving.
Oh, stage diving. Oh fuck, man. Definitely when I was younger.
Cone,
I used to do it with my bass 10 years ago too.
Yeah.
But Cone, do you ever stage dive while you're performing?
I used to we had an album called Scream Bloody Murder.
Yeah.
And, every show I used to stage dive on my back with my bass.
I have a really relevant question.
Yeah.
Do you have a great local chiropractor?
No, not local, but local enough. I do have one in Toronto.
I mean, with all that stage diving and carrying a bass, it's heavy, right?
Yeah, it's a great feeling though. I will say that crowd surfing is a great feeling, and I used to.
Oh God,
it. I don't
it's
do
like,
it anymore.
It's like walking on air, man.
It's cool. Like I used to love it. I used to run and flip on my back and just hope people catch you.
Those were the days, eh?
That's it.
So I got a custom T-shirt for the Green Day show next year, and it says, "Put me on the stage." I want to be one of those guys that gets to go and play one song on the. That'd be fucking sick, eh?
Operation Ivy song they play.
Yes, I know. Things are getting tougher when they can't get the top off the bottom of the barrel. Wide open road in my future now. It's looking fucking narrow. I love that song. I have that record somewhere over here.
It's a classic. I love it.
What is it called? I have it.
Energy.
I do have it. And it's like an odd I think it's a 33 that I have and not a 45, so every time I put it on, I feel like I'm high because it's not the right speed. Shane asked some questions. I have to go to the bathroom. Please excuse me.
All right. I am almost out of questions, but
All
yeah.
good. Thanks for having me.
I was gonna ask you about kind of off the radar, but the do you think it's end of the era for punk rock? I mean, I think Blink 182 is coming to an end. No Effects is coming to an end. You guys seem to be coming to an end. It just seems like there's only emo nights left in the bars around here.
I think well, I think Blink are going to be going for a while, but no, I don't think so. I mean, there's always brand new great punk bands popping up. Yeah, us and No Effects will be gone, but you still got your Bad Religions, Rancids, Green Day. I mean, you know, with the emergence of like stuff like the Interrupters, there's great Canadian punk rock bands that are coming up like No Bro and Mall Crimes, and I just saw a great hardcore band open for Off weeks ago called Die Spitz, all
Yeah,
female hardcore band. I mean, there's always new punk bands coming up, and
for sure.
I don't think it's an end of an era. I think there's just an end of us, an end of No Effects.
Yeah, yeah. The end of our era.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I always talk about this with Johnny. With ticket prices going through the roof. I think now's the time to shine for more indie bands.
Yeah, I think so.
Five, $15 shows.
Yeah. No,
Uh, Spotify, Apple Music, like now's the time to shine for all these indie bands.
yeah. I mean, there's always like those small club shows too. You'll be able to get in for $10, and yeah, I think it's those big shows, like those stadium shows, arena shows that prices are pretty high.
Do you know the Doc Ellis in Toronto?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're playing there on December 8th. Come on out.
Oh yeah, that sounds great. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I think Trigger Happy just played there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, I
we
got one of
we
their albums too.
we are gonna have Al on our show too.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Because they're signed by Chase of Glory Records, aren't they?
Well, Barry's doing his records.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's gonna be fun. And then we're playing January 20th somewhere in Oshawa.
Thanks, dude. Yeah.
What's the band called?
My band is a Blame Thrower.
Nice. Good name.
I'll send you some stuff. It's local shit.
Yeah, like yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Do up the what do you call it? The local and loud or whatever on your show.
Oh, geez, don't pressure him to do that shit.
My show?
Yeah. On Cone
Okay. Oh, Found in the Underground.
Found in the Underground.
Oh,
Flamethrower.
Yeah, send me some stuff.
Yeah.
absolutely. Thank you. After the first 3 songs and you get bored, just toss it in the fire. No big deal.
Is it on like Spotify and stuff like that?
Yeah, we actually are on like everywhere, like Spotify and whatever else.
Apple. Yeah.
I'm not much of the I don't really know how to distribute stuff. I just know how to come out with it. My drummer is really fantastic at actually the business side of stuff, and he just goes, here's a microphone, sing this, and then we write songs together, we play together, it's great, but I'm like not about the business side of stuff. I have my own business I'm looking after. It's tough already as it is, but that's what I'm focused on. I'd love to be more focused on music, but shit, man, I'm fucking busy. I'm not going to make $1 million with music, so I'll try to make $1 million with my business. Does it suck? But it's fun, and you know what? It's a great mental break. Once or twice a week to do exactly what I'm doing, you know. It may not be for ears of millions of people, but I love doing it because it's a great mental break. We get to come down here in the basement, in the spacement, and you know, I've been a collector of guitars for 25 years now, and you know, I just love experimenting with sounds and whatever the hell else we're doing down here.
Yeah. It's too bad you couldn't join us tonight because he's got a wicked studio down.
I want to
here.
show you my sick ass Rickenbacker.
Yeah. Nice.
full bar.
Oh yeah, man, it's fun.
Yeah.
I was gonna send you a video beforehand so you can take a virtual tour of my space, but I'm gonna clean up some of the empties before I do that. Okay. All right,
cool.
man. Well,
All right.
I feel like this is the natural end of this
Yeah. You know what?
excellent fucking interview, and thank you so much for joining us.
Are we
Yeah.
gonna play our outro?
Yeah, but he won't be able to hear it because it's like sort of
Yeah.
And by the way, thank you for giving us that plug that one day. We use it just about on every episode that you've given it to us since
Oh
then.
yeah.
So awesome, man. And I mean, if you ever need any support with your podcast, whatever I can do from my shitty little basement, I'm glad to help you out. Cheers, buddy.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate you guys having me.
Thank you so much.
They're
all cheersing from the other corners of this basement, but you can't quite see them. So
I'd love to come on your show, but I guess it would have to be from the Rock Studio.
Oh yeah.
do you ever do any recording from the studio?
Nah.
No, eh?
All right.
No, but I'm planning to go in because I was talking to Doug yesterday and he said I still got this package from Shane and Johnny, and I was like,
Well,
all right,
yeah.
Yeah.
coming in. I got to come in. I'm gonna probably try and come in next week or something.
I think there might be 2 Red Bulls, a Mickey, a Viagra, and a T-shirt in there.
There's 4 Red Bulls,
Yeah,
a
whatever.
Mickey, Jaeger, and I was gonna try and add in one more patch for you.
Oh yeah. Well, get
Yeah.
over there before he gets
Yeah,
Well, that's nice of you guys. You guys didn't have to do that.
yeah. Of course we
Of
did.
course we did. I don't
Okay.
fucking wear the T-shirts, so whatever.
I'm wearing mine now.
Thank you, man. We had a great time chatting
Yeah.
with you tonight.
Awesome.
So seriously,
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Cone.
No problem. I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, have a
For
sweet
sure.
night. Cheers. Nice meeting you.
Cheers.